You know, I honestly thought that Luffy and Zoro were absolutely going to wipe the floor with Basil Hawkins, but the voodoo hoodoo straw man is actually more powerful than they could have possibly imagined. The Wano Kingdom arc explodes off the pages in another awesome chapter of One Piece. This was a really surprising chapter for me because I thought that Basil Hawkins was going to be absolutely destroyed by Luffy and Zoro, but he actually managed to push them back and even force them to escape. Well, actually, he didn't really force them. Luffy and Zoro were swallowed by a giant Japanese monster dog who happened to have a woman stuck in his tail because Japan. This entire chapter of One Piece was really simple. It was basically just Luffy and Zoro battling against Basil Hawkins, and then they're eventually whisked away by this massive dog, which has this woman inside of its tail. This woman actually wants to help out Tama with her tea, which is supposedly going to get rid of the toxins inside of her body. We get to see what goes on at her place at the very end of the chapter, being introduced to one of her subordinates, and a massive sumo wrestler by the name of Urashima. So let's talk about some of the highlights of this amazing chapter of One Piece. First, the battle with Basil Hawkins. This was really impressive, and it was really funny because Luffy has a sword, but he's not using it at all. He basically still just punches people, and this really pisses off Zoro because he knows that he has a really awesome new sword, and he really wants to use it, but Luffy just refuses to give it up. But the first half of the chapter is mostly devoted to seeing Basil Hawkins in action and seeing his powers, which are all sorts of awesome. He has so many unique abilities. First and foremost, whenever he is actually attacked by someone, it won't damage him at all because he's actually connected to one of his fellow subordinates. Whenever he's slashed across the face by Zoro, one of his buddies actually ends up taking the hit, and he can actually do this a number of times. Basically, he can die up to 10 times at once, which allows him to make a lot more crazier risks, but that's not even the end of his abilities. He also has this straw sword, which, while it doesn't really seem all that intimidating at first, the way that it's actually displayed initially is just so freaking awesome, with Luffy taking out a couple of his subordinates at once, and then one of those like giant lizards tries to attack him. Luffy picks it up, throws it at Basil Hawkins, who proceeds to impale it with his straw sword. That sword then slowly transforms into a massive demonic straw monster, which can fire nails and even has a massive sword. Zoro even has a tough time against this guy, and while all of this is going on, Basil Hawkins completely plays up the fact that he's basically someone from New Orleans. He's obsessed with voodoo and hoodoo and tarot cards and voodoo dolls and everything. They totally have fun with this character's concept. He even uses tarot cards to make predictions on how he should actually fight these two characters, and it's really freaking exciting. But the giant freaking monster dog ends up swallowing Luffy and Zoro and running away with them. And then they just introduce this random character out of nowhere by the name of Suru, who is this Japanese-looking woman. When I say that, I mean that because her art style is completely different than some of the other stuff that we've actually seen from the series. It's looking like it's made to emulate the old style of Japanese painting, and it really makes this character immediately unique. But what's strange is that she was hiding out in this dog's tail. I don't know if this is a reference to something in Japanese culture, but she seems to have good intention by wanting to help out Tama, saying that going to the doctor is not the best option. Going to her tea house is. She'll be able to draw out the toxins from all of the poisonous stuff that was in the river. We immediately hard cut to a scene where her tea house is. One of the people that works at her tea house goes by the name of Saku, this beautiful woman who's being courted by this massive sumo wrestler by the name of Urashima. I don't know if these characters are going to be very important in the grand scheme of things, but at least they're really fun, and you can definitely tell that the creator of the series is having a lot of fun at poking fun at sort of the Japanese aesthetic, so to speak. He's really going all out with this arc, and I think it's going to be truly a super fun experience. So what's the rundown on this chapter of One Piece? I loved this one. Visually speaking, this is a very striking arc. And again, I've said it many times as I've been reviewing the Wano Kingdom that I really think the creator of the series is just having a ball with this arc right here, sort of playing to the strengths and art aesthetic of his country, but also sort of poking fun at it as well. Basil Hawkins, though, I mean, wow, was he just such a showcase in this chapter. Every single thing that he did was so awesome, and he's so confident in his abilities that I honestly believe that he is one of the more powerful pirates in the series. He is a part of the Supernovas after all, but the fact that he can hold back Luffy and Zoro at the same time speaks volumes for how crazy this guy is. His straw powers were also just so freaking OP and insane. I love the design of his massive scarecrow sword. It kind of reminds me of the Susanoo from Naruto, just mixed with the whole scarecrow aesthetic. That with the whole voodoo doll vibe and everything. It just rocks so freaking much. I really loved it. All of the action in this chapter, too, I think just really sold me already on this arc. Some of the best stuff that I've actually seen from the series in a while. And just to see Luffy and Zoro run wild again, I think is really awesome. The introduction of some of the other new characters like Suru and Saku and Urashima, I'm welcome to see what they're actually going to add to this arc. I wonder if they truly do have good intentions, as I don't know who we can fully trust in this arc quite yet, and that Suru woman seemed almost a little too eager to actually help out these people, but who knows? There could be another twist to this altogether. All I know is we're getting that much deeper into the Wano Kingdom arc, and already I have a feeling that it's going to be one of the most memorable of the entire series. The opening battle of this chapter alone really sold me on this one, so I'm giving this chapter a 5 out of 5. I loved this one. I would love to hear your thoughts about it, though. You can tell me all of them in the comment section below, and what you guys are hoping to see from the rest of the Wano Kingdom arc in One Piece. Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.